Oh, not this again. Really, winner? Did you have to come back? I thought we were done with this. Although, it does kind of look nice. Please melt quickly. Please melt quickly.
Yeah, I'll help you.
If you were thinking those hands were too beautiful to be mine, it is true. They were my wife's. Okay, what are we unboxing today?
iPad.
First, you gotta pull this tab. Hey, why don't you stand up? You gotta pull that. Pull it off. Do you know how to open it?
Yeah. I don't know how to open it.
You just said you did. There we go, we got it.
Ooh, it's a new iPad. Ooh, what's this?
That's the instruction manual.
A charger. Charger cable.
Oh, Kai, what's the iPad for?
Playing games on iPad.
What else does the iPad for?
Watch Firefox games.
And what else? You already got fingerprints on it, buddy. At this age, they want to do everything by themselves. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's frustrating. Is it for this?
Here's for this. Don't open this.
Is it a pencil?
Yeah, the pencil.
Are you having a good day, buddy? Oh, don't do that. You want to be on the iPad? We're setting it up. Whoa! No, not that. You're gonna break both the pencil and my ND filter. No! Don't do that. Still setting it up, okay? What do you think of the iPad so far? I have no idea what that means. What do you want to say to everybody?
Say tigers.
Okay, Kai, quick impressions. How many thumbs up do you give the iPad Pro? It's a 1? It's a high five.
High five.
Oh, double high five.
Double high five.
What scale is this that you're using? Are you doing work?
It is $500.
$500. Wow.
$500.
Did you just make $500?
$500.
We just set up the iPad and you already made $500?
Just made it. I'm gonna buy 2 cameras. Woo!
You're gonna buy some more cameras? Okay, so this is the new iPad Pro. This is the 11-inch version, and at first glance, they look pretty similar. But when you look again, there's quite a few little updates, and it starts right here. We now have, on top of the 12 megapixel wide camera, we have the 10 megapixel ultra wide, which on the iPhone, I am a really, really big fan of. Now, I'm probably not gonna be like bringing this around and like filmmaking with an iPad. That's not really my style, but I could see this being really handy for the people that use their iPad as kind of like their Swiss Army tech knife tool, and they use it for everything. So if you're like, you know, a real estate agent and you need to take some photos of a house that you're listing, you can just take them on your iPhone on the ultra wide and then post them and do everything right on the iPad. Or you're an architect or whatever it is that you are. I could see it being handy, having that ability. Or maybe you're just having like a team meeting and you want to do like a team selfie. Well, now you can do it way easier. But I don't know, maybe I should do like a whole vlog shot and edited on the iPad. I don't know. The 2 cameras also helps with AR. And speaking of AR, there is let me see if I can show you guys. See this circle right here? That is what we call LiDAR. Here it is, LiDAR technology.
Oh, nice.
I love the Finnish man's reaction. Okay, I need you to explain to me what is LiDAR? What does it do?
Okay, so LiDAR basically is there's a laser that comes out of a camera and bounces off and comes back to the camera. And the camera is basically able to figure out how far away things are. So it can build like a 3D scene as you're looking at things.
And so what is this good for?
What LiDAR will allow is for just better accuracy. It'll actually work in low light. So like previously you had to have really good lighting for a AR kit to work, but now you could like be in a really dark space, and AR kit will continue to work. You can actually make things go behind. So let's say, I think I've seen like a demo video where there's like a couch and like a 3D object goes behind the couch. Previously, you couldn't do that with AR kit because it was a little bit too intensive to do that with the disparity mapping technology that they had previously. So with LiDAR, it would be like really cheap and really fast to do that.
And lastly, what would you do with it? What do you want to do with LiDAR?
There's a few things.
Are they secrets?
So, there's some secrets. I mean, at Shopify, we're always looking at how to make like 3D capture better. So like making 3D models and stuff like that. So we're kind of excited to like hack around that and see how just this like camera would do that better. Personally, it would be cool to see if it would make Placer Cam better, because like previously you would have the text in front and then somebody would walk. It would look like they're walking behind the text, but the text
would be
in
front.
Yeah, it was totally wrong.
Okay, thank you for explaining LiDAR to us.
No problem.
All right, see ya. Enjoy working from home.
Yeah.
My brother works for Shopify, not to be mixed up with Spotify. Shopify is an e-commerce platform, and they're all working from home now, and they get $1,000 each to spend on like their home office. Man, Shopify, just such a cool company. Also, if some of that didn't make sense to you, it's totally fine. A lot of it goes right over my head, and I just pretend like I understand what he's talking about. It can tell up to 5 meters and as close as 30 centimeters exactly where things are in virtual space, in AR space. I'm probably not the best person to talk about this, but what this means practically is the iPad can scan your room and make a depth map so it can see where in 3D position everything is. I could essentially do a LiDAR scan of this phone and I would get a 3D model of it. I could scan this whole setup of the table and the laptop and the camera, and it would be able to make a 3D depth map of this whole thing. And with LiDAR and that information that it's bringing in, you can do some really cool things, like for example, AR games where you're literally playing on or in the space that you're in. So like things could be hopping on your table and then it's on your iPad. Or maybe you want to virtually plan out your whole room. You just bought a new place and you want to decorate it in AR. You can actually put, a couch there and a TV there and something on the wall. And then you can look at it with your iPad and see what those things would look like if they were there, even though they're not actually there. They're just there in the matrix, in the virtual space. Or you can use it for health apps and analyzing the body, or use your own body movements to animate things. There's just so many uses for LiDAR and getting all this data that normally would be a lot harder to get. For example, the Placer Cam AR title app that me and my brother made, well, mostly my brother, with this LiDAR technology, you could now place a text underneath here, and as I go over, you wouldn't see it, and then when I go like this, you would actually see the text down here. Hopefully we can update Placer Cam and make it way more cool. We were just gonna talk about how now you can use a trackpad on the iPad, or a mouse. That's right, now you can actually connect a trackpad or a mouse to your iPad. So I'm gonna try this out for the very first time and see how it is. So it's actually very similar to like a mouse, and then it kind of like highlights an app. I don't know if you guys can see that. Kind of like makes it bigger and like highlights it. So there's my mouse. Kai, can we just not have a rock show right this second? Maybe later? So you can really easily highlight some of your text. You can draw with this. And then you can also use gestures, which is pretty cool. It makes it feel a lot more just like a normal... Kai, what are you doing here, buddy? Makes it feel a lot more like a normal laptop. We also have the new Magic Keyboard, which isn't out yet. I'm not sure exactly when that's coming out. The iPad kind of floats on top, and then with magnets, you can just like... It's really distracting, making videos at home sometimes. You can change the viewing angle of the iPad really easily. So that looks pretty great, and apparently... Apparently the speakers are really good too. Pretty nice. And apparently we have 5 studio quality microphones now. So here's a little test. Right now the audio is coming from my camera, which is a Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. And now we're switching over to the iPad. This is the audio from the iPad. Would it be acceptable for vlogging? It's probably pretty good inside. Outside, it would probably be a lot more wind noise and that kind of stuff. But let me know. I was just listening to the audio. Sounds great on here. But man, this beard is getting out of control. I gotta be honest, for me, for the longest time, the iPad has been kind of like a glorified Netflix player, and maybe, you know, a thing to play games on. But a lot has changed in the last couple of years. With the addition of file storage, you can edit photos really well with Lightroom or Photoshop straight on the iPad. You can edit videos. That's still not the best in my opinion, but you could start an edit on the iPad really easily and then maybe bring it onto a MacBook Pro or your iMac or something and then finish it off there with the color grading and some of the heavier things like animating titles. Then we have Sidecar, where you can now use your iPad as a dual monitor for your, let's say, MacBook here. So I can actually bring this over and be watching my edit on the iPad as I'm editing on the MacBook Pro. This is one of those features that I don't think a lot of people realize how good the iPad is right now. You literally get so much more screen real estate, and you can do some really interesting editing setups when you have this little iPad monitor and then the MacBook as your actual powerful editing machine. And now we have the ultra wide camera, we have the LiDAR, we have the trackpad, we have the great microphones and speakers. We're really getting to this point where the iPad is becoming this all-in-one, just like Swiss Army knife tool for all sorts of different areas, whether you're a photographer or a graphic designer, or maybe you're an architect, interior designer, or decorator, maybe even construction, health professionals. There's so many different areas where now this iPad is gonna be the tool that you can pretty much do everything on. Especially as these AR apps start being developed with this LiDAR technology. There's gonna be so many tools that you'll have just in this small little package, things that you would have never ever dreamt of or been able to do on anything really, let alone on this little iPad. So it's safe to say I'm pumped, and I'm really curious to see what kinds of cool things that me and my brother could come up with for you guys to, like, for example, placer cam, but maybe even some cooler stuff using the LiDAR technology. If you guys have any ideas, comment them below. We would love to hear ideas because we've just been itching to make something cool, make something new for you guys, just for all the creatives out there to use and to help them in their workflows. Hey Kai, I'm done reviewing the iPad. What should we do now? Should we make cookies?
Yeah, cookies.
Oh, look at that. What's happening here?
That's a good cookie. That's what's happening right there.
Spider.
It's just marshmallow.
Look at.
I'm not gonna lick your finger. This is what I've been slaving over. Look how good these are.
Oh, this. Wait, that one's not a good one.
Fail. The soft gooiness.
There we go.
But crispy on the outside still. The key to a perfect cookie is to cook them at a super high temperature so the outside is crispy, but the inside is still soft and gooey. And also, I use marshmallows. Score bits, chocolate, and marshmallows. These white little bits are marshmallows. They like to caramelize into this like crispy goodness. Princess keeps saying one more, one more. I think you've had like 6 already.
5?
To be fair, they are bite size, small size, so you can eat more. How many have you had, Kai? Kai and Princess are sleeping, but there's a T-Rex in my living room. You're making it too dark, buddy.
There.
You think this is good?
And this is good.
No, they can't see us anymore. We need more light.
Oh, yeah.
Open up that endy. Nope, that's the wrong way. There we go. Now they can see us. There we go.
And just put them more of the dark.